Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Hungry Brothers. My name is Greg, also known as Pork Chop.
And I am Noe, also known as Burger Man, and I didn't think of an intro this time. Dang it.
No, you're a disgrace.
I know, I feel it.
All right, Noe. I have tons of stuff on my list.
Good stuff, man.
Movie news has been flooding into everything that I've been working with. Yeah.
Because I don't have a lot of stuff, because after E3, there's not really a lot you can do.
Okay, well, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I could fill a whole episode of just my movie stuff, so I hope you have some.
Oh, of course I have some.
All right, good.
Just not a lot.
Okay, well, I'm going to start out, as usual, by announcing or shouting out a real company in hopes that someday they'll give me money. And Noe, I'll tell you right now that the product we're shouting out today is something sitting right in front of both of us for the first time.
Okay, I got you. It's an iPhone.
It's definitely... Okay, so when we started this podcast, we had one Blue Snowball. That was the microphone that we used. Mm-hmm. And it gave us great quality. I've been really impressed by it. And so this is our condenser microphone, Blue Snowball. Mm-hmm. And now we have two of them. Yeah. So instead of sitting next to each other and using an omnidirectional condenser, Noe and I are sitting across from each other at a table, which is going to bring a whole new level of shenaniganery.
I can already feel it. I can't even look at you in the eyes.
So my shout out this week is Blue Microphone Company for just making an excellent product, making something that I was really happy to buy off of Amazon. So if a listener is looking for a decent microphone to purchase and looking for something that won't break the bank, but will still give them a studio level quality,
oh yeah,
I gotta say the Blue Snowball. It's available on Amazon for dirt cheap.
Oh yeah.
Noe, I order things from Sweetwater time and time again,
yeah.
And I actually messaged my Sweetwater salesman because they have this one listed on their website as $99.
Oh wow.
And I told him, I said, can you match Amazon's price? And he said, no, there's just no way.
Oh god.
So if you're gonna buy a Blue Snowball, buy it from Amazon.
Haha, Amazon.
Noe, have you had any products stick out in your life as of late?
No, actually. I don't use a lot of things. I live a very minimalistic lifestyle. And it's not because I'm poor. I'm just throwing that out there. It's a cool aesthetic, to not have a lot of things. And I really like it, so.
All right, Noe.
Yo, Gillette razors, though. I like those a lot. They make me really happy.
Next week, I was going to talk about Harry's razors because I get those every week.
Yo, Harry's is good too.
Yeah, I'm really happy with them.
I just don't want to commit to it,
No, it's rough. I actually have to give him my new debit card information or I'm not going to get my June shipment.
Oh, no.
The month of June's almost over.
Oh, God.
Okay. Noe, let's talk about The Walking Dead.
Okay, we're back again.
You know my issues with The Walking Dead.
Oh, yes, I do.
But it seems to me like things are on the rise. Things are going to get better. Yeah, I'm hoping. Because we got a new showrunner. Our new showrunner says that Walking Dead is going to be taking a time jump. So they're going to jump forward in their timeline, and this is probably how they're going to be able to get rid of Rick and Maggie as they depart the show.
Okay.
And this new showrunner is named, I can't find her name, but this article actually compares season 9 of The Walking Dead to the final season of Parks and Rec. So I know you never watched it, but final season of Parks and Rec jumps into the future. It takes place in 2017 while it was released in, I think, either 14 or 15. Mm-hmm. And new showrunner named Kang says, we're playing with time in the season, so we get to jump forward in the story. She didn't share any specific detail, but she did note that the season will have a really fresh look and feel, and it'll start with some really fun stuff and focus on the core character relationships. Knowing I've said time and time again, Walking Dead doesn't work as a zombie show.
Absolutely.
It has to work as a character show.
Yeah.
So I think that if they're focusing on the characters and the time jump allows them to explore new relationships, or even maybe time jump doesn't even mean they're jumping forward, because they even spotted John Bernthal on set and he played Shane, who died in season 2. Spoiler alerts. Okay, if you haven't seen the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead at this point, you're getting spoiled.
Yeah, absolutely. You deserve it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, what would be non-spoiler territory in Walking Dead? The second half of the season that just aired would be fair, right?
Yeah.
Like, am I a jerk to say who Negan kills in season 7?
No, I'm usually someone that likes to stay a season behind when it goes with
A season
spoilers.
behind.
Yeah, because
Okay.
there are some people that like they're just late.
That's fair. So
you
I
know?
won't
Like,
spoil who
I
Negan
haven't
died.
finished. I
who
haven't
Negan killed.
finished Game of Thrones season 7 yet,
Oh right.
but it's on the. I finally got HBO Go, so
Yeah.
I'll
So
be watching it.
So I was on the edge with Walking Dead. I was about to say no more. Ratings were dropping too.
Yeah.
I was about to say no more. I don't want to watch this anymore. But if they're gonna do a time jump and they're gonna explore some new ground for Walking Dead and they can make it good, I will happily keep on watching. So I'll give the first few episodes of season 9 a chance. But if it doesn't wow me, I think I might be done. One of my favorite YouTube channels, actually, Mr. Sunday Movies, has an old video called "The Walking Dead is boring and I hate it," and it truly sums up everything that's wrong with the Walking Dead franchise currently. Do you think you'd be willing to give Walking Dead a chance ever? Is that something that you ever even started watching?
Yeah, I actually got to mid season 4 and I got kind of bored with it because it just felt repetitive.
I'm surprised you made it through season 2.
Yeah, I'm someone that likes to commit to things, and I only go when it goes south, and it really did. But hearing these things, maybe it's worth giving another shot. You know?
Yeah, hopefully so. Noe,
Yeah.
we are recording this the day after the official release of Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
We did not see this movie, but I do want to hear your thoughts on it. Like, is this a movie that you're okay with happening? Are you excited for it? Let me hear it.
Guys, I love dinosaurs. I love them so freaking much.
Dinosaurs are really cool.
Dude, like when I was a kid, my goal in life was to be a paleontologist.
Oh, me too, dude.
I wanted to.
I never know that about
I
you.
know the names of like 50 to 60 dinosaur species and their species names, everything about them, how tall they get, their diet. It was like an obsession when I was younger.
Right.
You know that I'm still playing Ark Survival right now because I love dinosaurs.
Dino Central.
Absolutely, dude. I grew up with the Jurassic Park franchise. I remember all of them from when I was a kid. And seeing the first Jurassic World remake, the Jurassic Park remake, I was so blown away by like the special effects and oh my god, it looks like a real dinosaur, and it brought back this like inner kid in me. So seeing some of the dilemmas that are brought up in this movie, like the idea of conserving and caring for something that humanity made. We brought back the dinosaurs. Should we also protect them? And that whole kind of tension with stuff, it resonates really clearly with me as like a nature activist and also as a dinosaur lover. So I'm super excited to see all of these dinosaurs. That I saw the trailer, and I kid you not, I could name every single dinosaur that was running off of that cliff there. And it just reminded me of like, man, it's like the old west, just running cows off of cliffs, you know?
Oh God. Why would you go there? Okay, so let me express to you that I might go see this movie because I love Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I think Chris Pratt's incredible, and I think he is today's Harrison Ford of action stars.
Wow.
That's probably a really bold claim, but he is the 2010s Harrison Ford in terms of starring in action franchises. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Put Chris Pratt in Star Wars. Okay, so I might go see it just based on that alone. I love Chris Pratt. I love Bryce Dallas Howard. I think she's incredible as well.
Yeah.
But I do have one major issue with the movie, and that's that I really feel like the plot got reset from what happened in Jurassic World, the first one.
Yeah.
Because you get Vincent D'Onofrio's character, and I'm gonna come back around to Vincent D'Onofrio because I had a revelation today about him.
Okay.
So you take Vincent D'Onofrio's character who wants to weaponize the raptors, and that's why Jurassic World hired the ex-Navy SEAL Chris Pratt's character to train the raptors. They want to weaponize them. That does not work out.
Yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio's character dies as a result of trying to weaponize these raptors, as you do. And now it seems like a major plot point from what I noticed from the trailer. It seemed like it was going to be, let's weaponize the dinosaurs. And it's like nobody cares about that. What they want to see is these dinosaurs. Whoa, that picked up a knuckle pop really well.
Sick.
I really feel like that's too heavy for a movie like this. I really feel like people want to show up and have fun and see the dinosaurs be dinosaurs. And that's why none of the human characters are super nuanced.
Yeah.
They're pretty straightforward characters. They're not complex. They're not super dynamic. They're interesting, yes. Mm-hmm. But the main characters are the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And that's why at the end of every movie you have these huge sequences, but the characters aren't the human characters aren't contributing. They are running.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's about the dinosaurs in those moments. And I think that what could potentially hurt the franchise is making human characters too nuanced.
Yeah. That makes sense. I also kind of, part of me really likes the idea of them going back to the same thing. You know, because that seems to be a staple with the Jurassic Park franchise of you go back to the same ideas and it never works because the dinosaur's the main character, you know, and
Right.
it kind of pits you against like, it gives you this kind of like tension, even though you don't necessarily go for it, you can always feel the tension of man versus nature. Mm-hmm. You know, of this natural force that man brought back into existence, that something that existed before, and man trying to have dominance over it and just failing because nature's too powerful. You know, so I kind of like that aspect of it, but I do get where you're coming from with the whole nuancing characters too much, because it is about the dinosaurs. You know, I would love to see like a Jurassic Park movie where it's a guy gets lost in Jurassic Park and he's like showing that whole like side of humanity of like, we'll pack bond with everything, we'll try to like love any kind of living creature, we put tape like we feed Roombas kind of stuff of what would like dinosaurs of
Right.
like a guy trying to like get through Jurassic Park alive, either by like fighting or by trying to weasel his way into the hearts of these big creatures and make them something that's like, oh, it's like, that reminds me of like an elephant. He's riding it like...
You basically have the Steve Irwin of dinosaurs.
Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, actually, that would be really cool.
be so
I'd pay good
cool.
money for that, Noe. So I was exploring the Twitter sphere recently, and I came across this wonderful tweet from the account is at JRDRD. And I'm gonna semi-censor this tweet. So this is Jurassic Park sequel idea. The year is 3 million AD. The humans are extinct. The dino scientists find mosquitoes with human blood in them instead of the dinosaur blood. Guess who they clone? Jeff freaking Goldblum. Okay, no, I'm not done. They mix up the mosquito DNA with Goldblum's. Surprise, assholes, this is a sequel to The Fly. So I came across that and I thought, man, I hope the Jurassic Park franchise stays good, or it stays good, and we can keep getting movies.
Yeah.
Because they are fun.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I understand that there's a good amount of people that had issues with Jurassic World.
Yeah.
But man, I love sitting down and watching that movie.
Yeah.
Like, tell me it's not amazing to see Bryce Dallas Howard run away with a flare with
my
a
gosh.
T-Rex chasing after her.
Wild, dude.
And destroying the Indominus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that kind of like, that's what we want from our Jurassic Park movies. You know, you want to see people like interacting with dinosaurs. You know, not necessarily like, not like crazy plot, but just like, this is a giant carnivore.
No, exactly.
I am prey.
It doesn't need to be plot driven. Or
Oh, yeah.
no, I lied. It's plot driven action,
Yeah.
not an action driven plot.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Noe. I want to talk to you about the MCU.
Ooh.
I got some MCU news this week. Shocker. Okay. We got MCU news every week. So the first thing that I've got, as you go and get your water, is I've got news about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is a movie that's happening. And here you are, and you coming back.
Refreshing.
No, do you like the Guardians movies?
I do like the Guardians movies a lot. The soundtracks are always bomb. I know, I'll admit, I kind of got lost with the second one because I wasn't too invested in that storyline of, shoot, why did I forget his name?
Who, Ego?
Yeah, Ego. That's what I was trying to say. I didn't necessarily, like, follow that too much, although I appreciate the whole thing of, like, Star-Lord's a monster. I get it. That's sick. That makes it awesome. That's why he could hold the Infinity Stones or whatever.
Right,
You
but
know,
not
which
anymore.
Is cool, which is cool. But, you know, it's that whole thing of, like, all right, that's cool. And I didn't necessarily know why it was necessary because I was perfectly capable of and perfectly fine with just believing that Chris Pratt held the Infinity Stone for the sheer power of being Chris Pratt.
You know what? That's a good theory. That's a good wisdom. Okay, so I'm gonna have way too much fun being able to get this close to the microphone. Okay,
so good.
So before I start with Guardians, I jumped ahead of myself. I want to talk to you about Vincent D'Onofrio. So you know who that is, right? Okay, so Vincent D'Onofrio is probably most famous currently for playing Wilson Fisk in the Daredevil Netflix series. Is there ice on the bottom of your bottle?
Yeah.
That is wild. Okay.
Delicious.
So Vincent D'Onofrio is probably most famous right now for playing Wilson Fisk in the Daredevil Netflix series.
Yes.
And he's also very well known for having played the Roach alien in Men in Black.
Oh, yeah.
He's more sugar.
Yeah,
he's that guy.
I remember that. Ew.
But I learned something else today.
Oh.
Vincent D'Onofrio, who is in Jurassic World as the bad guy.
Yeah.
He is Wilson Fisk. And he's also in Full Metal Jacket. And I didn't realize it was him until today, but he plays Private Pyle. He plays the big fat fat guy. I didn't realize that was Vincent D'Onofrio until today.
Huh.
So, Vincent D'Onofrio. Also, if we finished talking about Jurassic World, and I missed a great opportunity to say that we're moving from one Chris Pratt franchise to another.
Yeah.
We're in Guardians. So James Gunn has now confirmed when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to take place.
Sick.
This is going to have spoilers for Avengers Infinity War.
Okay.
And I'm assuming you probably still haven't seen that?
Yeah.
All right. But you know everything.
I know everything. We've been through this.
Also, Batman's going to die in Avengers 4. Confirmed.
Absolutely confirmed.
Actually,
Despacito 2 confirmed.
oh my gosh. On Mars? Okay.
On Mars.
I want to tell you this,
Infinity War
actually.
3.
You know who is going to die in Avengers 4? The DC Extended Universe.
Part of me thought you were going to say Thor, and I was immediately going to start crying.
No, they won't kill Thor. Actually, they might.
They probably will.
Okay. So, obviously, Infinity War has a really shocking ending. Thanos wins.
Yeah.
And, you know, we lose a lot of beloved, brand new characters.
Yeah.
Where you get... Who did you expect to die in Infinity War?
And I don't even... I'm going to be honest. Like, I went into, like, the spoiler season expecting everyone to die.
Right.
Because I saw the trailer, and it's that whole thing. One snap, half the universe is dead. And I was like, how are you going to defeat that? Come on, let's be honest here. I will do, like... I don't care, like, how cryogenically enhanced you are. I don't care if you were an iceberg for 70,000 years. But if a guy can snap and destroy half of a population, you're dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Know? So I was kind of just expecting them all to die, and we were going to get a whole new Avengers cast, and then maybe Thor survives because he's a god.
Yeah, no, I really was expecting some of the originals to die. I thought Captain America and Iron Man would die.
Yeah.
I thought that Hawkeye would die, but he didn't even show up.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of wanted him to die.
No, I really think they're gonna start Avengers 4. I think they're gonna start Avengers 4 by showing his family fading into the dust from Thanos' snap. Yeah. Anyways,
that would suck.
But instead of killing off all of these franchise characters, or older franchise characters, they killed off all the characters that were starting their new franchises. So Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, almost all of the Guardians except for Rocket and Nebula. Mm-hmm. And now people are questioning, well, what about Spider-Man Homecoming 2? What about Guardians 3? What about Doctor Strange 2? What about the Black Panther sequel? And these are all on the books for Marvel, obviously. And so, account on Twitter, at Noelia5SOS, tweeted at James Gunn and said, Mr. James, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be before Infinity War? And James Gunn said, very cryptically, it will be after. And that's all he gives us.
What?
He says it will be after Infinity War.
Does that mean we get new Guardians?
I don't know. But I will tell you this. At San Diego Comic-Con, there's going to be an exclusive pop of Kraglin. So you know who Kraglin is, right? Yeah. He's played by James Gunn's brother. And Kraglin looks really cool, and I believe that it's going to be from Guardians 3. And it's Kraglin with the Yondu fin and the Yaka arrow. So, obviously, I think Kraglin will play a big role in this. Here it is. I found it. I think Kraglin will play a big role in it. And obviously, you have Rocket and Nebula, who are Guardians.
Yeah.
But now we're asking ourselves the questions of, is Avengers 4 going to bring back some of these Guardians? Like, is Drax coming back? Is Peter Quill coming back? Is Mantis coming back? I was really sad to see Mantis go because I love the character. It was a lot. It's a lot of fun. So now it becomes what happens to the Guardians.
This is going to be a fascinating reckoning for the MCU because say they bring characters back somehow. That's a big move.
Right.
You know, we have this confirmation that Guardians 3 is taking place after Infinity War. How? They're dead. They're gone. They're dust. One snap and half the population's dead, you know?
However, at the same time, there was that the interview with Dave Bautista, who was interviewing for, is it called Hotel Artemis?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And he was talking about Avengers. He's like, well, hey, Avengers 4 is happening, and we're all back for that. I'm like, dude, way to ruin it for everyone.
Okay.
So I do think
he's just excited.
Yeah.
People are just excited to like be back because it's such a cool series and franchise.
And I do think that to a certain extent they have to bring back some of these characters.
Yeah.
Like you cannot have just come off of a $1 billion box office hit and never bring back Black Panther.
You know what I think would be cool?
Go.
Imagine our older characters. A lot of them survived.
Right. All of them, really.
Yeah. Imagine them trading.
Oh. You know, no, I know you haven't seen the movie, but there is very prominent dialogue from Captain America that says we don't trade lives. Yeah. So that would actually be extremely interesting.
That'd be
in Avengers 4.
What if it wasn't like, because at that point, what do you do if you're sacrificing for someone else? You know, you're having someone else take your place.
Right.
It's not so much of like, we're giving up someone else's life. You're not conducting with two currencies that you don't control. You are the currency.
Wow. That's intense.
Yeah, I would love that, dude.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Man, dude, I'm getting all these great ideas for these cinematic universes.
Disney, pay us.
Disney, please give us money.
$10 and a cheese sandwich.
Dude, absolutely. Cheese and turkey for that one.
Cheese and turkey for Disney, yeah. Who's giving us just $10 and a cheese sandwich? Was it Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
It was Warner Brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Because we told them how to make their Joker movie.
I really hope it turns out similar.
I hope that it turns out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I just hope that it turns out. I hope the
turns
Batman
up.
turns out. And that's gonna wrap up Hunger. Okay, I've got more MCU news, and this one is concerning Spider-Man: Homecoming 2. So this is another character that, again, spoilers for Avengers: Infinity War, is freaking dead.
Yep.
And actually, Tom Holland made a joke about it. I believe it was on Twitter, where someone said something. You're fine. Someone said something. Spider-Man 2. When does filming for Spider-Man 2 start happening? And Tom Holland says, Spider-Man 2. Haven't you seen it? Haven't you seen Avengers? And now we're talking to the costuming department from Marvel, and this is someone who worked on Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man 3, and she worked on Homecoming. And so she says that she's not working on the sequel, but she does say that Peter Parker is going to be transitioning into manhood, and that will mean donning a new suit. So I want to take a few minutes to speculate.
How do you manhood when you're dead?
How do you manhood when you're dead? No, actually, I wanted to speculate if Peter Parker comes back, which it seems like he is, because you have all the other characters related to Peter Parker coming back. What kind of suit do you think we'll be expecting to see Peter wear?
I would like something that's a little bit reminiscent of the man that's going to sacrifice himself for Peter. Tony Stark.
So
of course, my own speculations. Tony Stark's going to trade himself for Peter Parker.
So you think that Peter Parker's going to wear an Iron Man suit?
Yeah. But I do think it's going to be a little more reminiscent of that.
But at that point, isn't it just that Iron Spider suit that he wore in Infinity War?
Maybe.
They did say that this will be a different suit. So this should be an entirely new suit.
Yeah. What does it mean for Peter Parker to be a man?
Does it mean for him to is he gonna get that black suit?
Here's a great idea. What if after experiencing something so dark, he loses his sense of hope for the world?
Oh,
I know I would.
And maybe he just stops being Spider-Man for a little while?
Yeah. Gives up being Spider-Man, and then he feels the call to justice again of seeing all these dark things, and he comes back as a mature, hardened Spider-Man.
Yeah.
A darker suit, darker colors.
I had a thought just now of maybe it'll be something more akin to the suit that he wore in the Secret Wars. Have you ever seen that suit?
I have not.
I'm going to pull it up right now. And again, it's one of those ones that is... maybe it's not Secret Wars. Secret Wars, he wore the black suit. What Spider-Man am I thinking of? Oh, yeah, no, Secret War. So this is from a game, so it's kind of a weird render. But this is what Secret War Spider-Man looks like.
Ooh,
so it's a darker suit. Nick Fury takes Avengers undercover to fight these crazy wild wars. And so maybe we do get something like that where it's a darker version of the character. I like the idea of that because I think that going to an alien planet and fighting Evil Grimace and dying and then coming back would change you as a character and would change you as a hero.
It changed you as a person, no doubt. I mean, trying to think of myself in those kinds of shoes, regardless of, if I have Spidey powers or not.
Uh-huh.
What happens when you die and then coming back from that?
Yeah, no, I like the thoughts.
Say there's an afterlife. Say Peter goes to heaven because he's doing good things for people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's ripped from that to come back to life again. He's going to be angry.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Say there's nothing afterwards. Comes back.
And he's experienced that nothingness.
He's experienced the nothingness. Now he wants to protect people who don't need to see that yet.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that a Spider-Man who is more adult and not as top, maybe not as jokey and quippy, do you think that could still work for the character?
See, that's where I run into a bit of tension because I love jokey Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Holland does a great job of playing the Peter Parker that we all want from a Spider-Man.
Right.
He's jokey. He has that awkward kind of teenage thing going for him of being a teenager and angst and stuff, and I like it a lot.
So my follow-up question would be then, can you have a more mature Spider-Man while still maintaining the youthfulness and the quippiness?
Absolutely. You know how?
How?
Dark humor.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
So now...
So people are you're gonna die. It's not like I haven't done that before. Okay, Spidey-Web.
So this movie comes out next year.
Yeah.
This comes out 2 months after Infinity War. Yeah. So that's going to be July.
Okay. That's definitely calculated.
Yeah, 2 years after Homecoming. And this should start filming soon. I would assume maybe October, November-ish.
Okay.
And if it starts filming in that November era, this is after Venom. So, do you think maybe they would adjust to the way they make this movie based on how Venom does as a film? Of say, hey Tom Hardy, can you come film a couple scenes with us because we really liked your Venom and we want to integrate you into the MCU?
Well, theoretically, Venom is part of the MCU, right? Or is this a standalone?
No, Venom's made by Sony.
Okay, well...
And so my prediction, my theory, is that if Venom is terrible, which everyone's kind of expecting it to be, if Venom's terrible, it's not going to be brought into the MCU at all. But if it's good, Disney will say, oh yeah, we were behind this the whole time, and it's part of the MCU, and this character is going to show up in the Spider-Man films.
What happens with Sony?
Sony is sharing their character rights with Disney. So that's why Spider-Man is allowed to show up in an Avengers movie, and it's why Disney is allowed to have creative control over the Spider-Man standalone movies, but Sony makes all the money off of that. Disney doesn't get anything from Spider-Man Homecoming except for the merchandising. So a character like Venom, and they were talking about making a movie called Black and Silver, and this would be Black Cat and Silver Sable. All this would be Sony standalone. This wouldn't be part of the MCU.
Fascinating. Well, I think it's a bit risky for Disney to be putting, if they're not really controlling how that's being made, it's a little risky for Disney to be putting their name on something like that. So I don't necessarily think they'd be willing to do something for something that was made by another company, because Disney's never done that before.
No, Disney's greedy.
You know, and because of that, and they're greedy for a reason. You know, they're good.
Right.
They're good at what they do. You know, and they have this universe. I think it's probably just like, nope, we're cutting that. Let Sony do their thing until we get everything, and then maybe we'll think about introducing these things. I think it fits Disney's model a little better.
Yeah, no, you're right. That was quite the tangent.
Yeah, it was.
But back to the discussion of having a matured Spider-Man. I think it's an interesting concept. And I think it'll be really interesting as he continues to face more villains at the same time. Because obviously you have Jake Gyllenhaal coming in as Mysterio, and you still have Vulture showing up in this movie. Apparently, he's slated to return. So maybe it takes that more mature Spider-Man to be able to deal with these supervillains in a way that Spider-Man does. Not quite the same as fighting one guy on top of a plane. This is now you're fighting someone who wants you dead, and you're also fighting someone who's a master of illusion, so you don't know what could or couldn't kill you.
Here's the question. What if a mature Spider-Man just looks like somebody who's more cautious with the way that the hero?
No, yeah, I could see that too. Actually, it would be a really interesting character arc if you have a Spider-Man that's being too careful. Ooh. Because of what happened to him in Infinity War, and maybe that results in something bad happening to his friends or to one of his loved ones.
Yeah.
And how does that affect you as a character? How does that darken you as a character even more so than dying and coming back and probably losing his father figure? I think Tony Stark's toast in Avengers 4.
Absolutely. I hope so.
And I'm hoping that this Spider-Man sequel can continue to be an exploration of the character, but also continue to be faithful to the character that we know. Because that's what Homecoming did really well. It gave us a Spider-Man that we know really well, talkative, quippy, fun, young. But it also gave us a new exploration of what would Spider-Man be in the world where the Avengers have been established for years.
Oh, yeah.
And who is Spider-Man when he's living in the shadow of the rest of the Avengers? And that's like a small detail from the film is when he's sitting in the class watching the video of himself catching the car. It's got like no views on it. It's got a really small number of views, where if something like that happened in our world, we would get millions and millions and millions. But because this takes place in a world where superheroes fall out of wormholes and throw nukes through the very same wormholes, and alien invasions happen once every 2 or 3 years, no one cares about some guy who can kind of catch a car.
Yeah.
Like, no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so how does that make Spider-Man as a character in the MCU? You know what I mean?
Yeah. For real.
So, I have got one more piece of MCU news before we move on from the MCU, and this is about Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people had issues with Age of Ultron. I personally liked it a lot. Did you?
I liked it.
Yeah,
That was fun.
I think it's fun. I think James Spader, Robert California, is amazing as Ultron.
Yeah.
And so, many people's issues were how disappointing Ultron's plan was to destroy the Earth, of lifting up the city and dropping the city.
I mean, theoretically, that's like enough to destroy Earth. You know, I don't have any qualms with that because, like, physically, it would destroy the Earth.
Right? Yeah.
It's basically the same kind of thing that happened to the dinosaurs.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I ain't angry.
So, one of the artists for the film, he put up some of his renders on the internet depicting the Hulk and Iron Man battling Ultron, but it's not quite the Ultron we saw in the movie.
Another
But
Ultron?
it's the same Ultron, but it's not quite the same look.
Oh.
So this was an original concept for the film. This was an early thought before they decided that it would be the tons of robots all swarming for that one piece of vibranium, whatever it was,
Yeah.
fighting all the Avengers. So this beautiful render shows the Hulk and Iron Man battling Mega Ultron. So what this is, it takes the same concept of having all the Ultron bots against the Avengers, but instead of having them spread out all over the place,
They do the Power Rangers thing and morph into
they
one
all
thing.
morph into one huge Ultron,
Oh my god.
which I think looks amazing, and it seems like it would have been really cool. However, I can understand why they didn't do this. It makes much more sense to attack from all angles, like the way they did in the film, tactically.
Also, there were just some ridiculous moments in that where you're seeing, like, people going in that little building where they were fighting.
Yeah.
What a scene. The panoramic thing where they're circling around and you just robot dead, one punch, robot dead.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
it
some of
was
those
sick.
cool.
It was such a sick shot.
Excuse me. One of the coolest parts of the sequence were because the robots were spread out all over the place. That caused the Avengers to split up and team up in interesting ways.
Oh, yeah.
Before you get to that reshoot of the beautiful circle shot from the first movie.
Oh yeah.
And so I thought Ultron was fine. I don't think it's as good as the first Avengers movie. Definitely not as good as Infinity War.
Yeah.
But it's a perfectly fine Avengers movie.
yeah.
I think it's fun to
It did
watch.
its job.
It absolutely did more than its job.
Yeah.
Because a film that does its job is Suicide Squad. But a film that sets expectations for an audience and subverts expectations and has fun is Age of Ultron.
Oh yeah.
And I saw this on Instagram actually the other day, and it's talking about Scarlet Witch in Age of Ultron. There's that moment where she gives all the Avengers their weird visions.
Yeah.
So she shows Thor Ragnarok and the end of Asgard, and she shows Captain America all of the war over, but everybody being dead. She shows Tony Stark, the Avengers, dead, and he says it wasn't a vision, it was a feeling. It's my legacy. And she shows something to Hulk that causes him to freak out the way that he does. But it doesn't reveal what is shown to Hulk.
Yeah.
So, what do you think she showed Hulk that awoke him in such a way that Iron Man had to take him down?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember that. Wow.
Yeah, because remember, she's got the headache
Yeah,
for
that's
patrolling
right,
everyone. She's
that's
like, "Oh no,
right.
I want the big one."
Yeah, that's right.
I think she showed him getting his ass kicked by Thanos.
You think that would make a lot of sense?
Yeah,
Wow.
because he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't like
Yeah.
to lose. Or another thought that I read someone had was Planet Hulk, which is kind of what Thor Ragnarok was, the film. In the comics, Hulk is sent off world by the humanity. Humanity says, "Hulk, you're too dangerous," and so they shoot him off into space, and then he lands on Sakaar and becomes the Gladiator.
Yeah.
So another thought was Scarlet Witch showed him that, And that's why he flies away at the end of Age of Ultron, because he says, well, I don't want to let this happen to me, so I'll just do it to myself. It'll hurt less.
Wow.
So two interesting thoughts. Do you have any that come to mind of what he could have seen?
And I don't remember what happened to Black Widow.
Nothing. She's fine.
What if she died?
She's blonde. Oh, what if she died? Interesting.
That'd be fun. That would make Hulk mad.
I think, maybe that's what's going to make Hulk come back in Avengers 4. Ooh, interesting thoughts. Disney, $20 and 2 cheese and turkey sandwiches.
$20 and 2 McGangbangs.
Oh, God.
Which is the snack of the day. Coincidentally, I'm glad we got to this segment. So a McGangbang, for those of you that don't know, is a McChicken and a McDouble from McDonald's. You get rid of 2 of those buns that separate. You smush those suckers together, and you get that cow and that chicken dancing around in your mouth. It's a flavor that you won't forget because your heart might stop after eating it. That's our snack of the day, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot smoother than I thought it would be.
That was enlightening.
Yeah. Smooth as in the transition, not the McGangbang actually going down your gullet because it goes down like fire.
Did you say gullet?
Yeah, I did say gullet.
All right,
go
now
try one. Don't say I want a McGangbang because they will most likely be confused.
And also kick you out of their restaurant.
Yeah. I mean, unless that McDonald's works like that, McDonald's take notes, question mark?
McDonald's, pay us. Today's episode of Hungry Brothers is brought to you by McDonald's. Go get your McGangbang today. I wish McDonald's would pay us, man.
Dude, that'd be wild.
Like, imagine if part of our agreement with a restaurant would be that every time we sit down to record, we just have a plate of food from them.
Dude, that'd be bad for our health.
It really would. That's why I would want to be sponsored by, like, Applebee's and just eat a steak.
Bruh. Dude, their Applebee's, they have this, like, 4-cheese mac and cheese with, like, honey
my
chicken
gosh.
tenders.
No,
It's on their, like, 2 for $20 meal, and it's the greatest thing ever.
No, I gotta tell you about mac and cheese.
Bruh.
So this is my favorite food.
Me
Here,
too.
this is the food section of Hungry Brothers.
Yes,
Thrown
finally
right-
doing hungry.
Thrown right in the middle of the movie news. Okay, so I heard something from a friend of mine just a few days ago about the way that they made mac and cheese. So it's a homemade cheese sauce, which
Right,
already, yes.
Absolutely.
You obviously this isn't a visual show that my eyes just rolled to the back of my head.
Also, you can't see me actually salivating, but it's definitely happening.
All right, that officially qualifies as the worst sound I've ever made on this podcast.
Yeah.
And so it's homemade mac and cheese sauce, but instead of macaroni noodles, it's lasagna noodles.
What?
And so it's a lasagna, and then it's cheese sauce, and then it's another lasagna, and then it's cheese sauce, and it's more lasagna noodle, and it's a mac and cheese casserole lasagna deal.
What?
With you can put bacon in it, you can put the green onions if you like them. I want to try this someday. Yeah, doesn't that sound great?
You need to get that recipe.
I will. I'll say, my guy, teach me your ways.
That's how you do it.
That's exactly how you do it. Okay, so let's jump back into the movie news after our mac and cheese tangent.
After we went to the concession stand.
After we went to the concession stand.
Dude, that's what we should call that.
The concession stand, brought to you
The
by
concession
the
stand.
Hungry Brothers.
Just in the middle of movie news, you get up to go pee, and then you go get a snack, because that's what you do at the movies.
God, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I do. I go and I get a refill on my large popcorn because I shoved all those things in before the movie started. And
No one will be seated during the food section of Hungry Brothers. Okay, Noe, let's talk Star Wars.
yes,
There is a good number of Star Wars movies out.
absolutely.
And I gave you the task of ranking them.
Oh, and I did.
And I believe is there 10 total now?
I believe
1,
so.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes.
What's the 10th one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's the 8.
I have 9.
It's the 8 movies,
Yes,
the 8 episodic movies, and then it's Rogue One and Solo.
that's right.
Yeah.
I missed
So
episode
Noe,
episode 7.
I want to start
8.
with. I want to go from the bottom of our lists. So I want you to say what is, and this can be subjective for you. It doesn't have to be objectively what had the best reviews. But what is your least favorite Star Wars movie? Let's wait. I want to say them at the same time because I feel like we might have the same answer sometimes. All right, 1, 2, 3. Attack of the Clones.
Mine was episode 1.
Oh, okay, so Phantom Menace. All right, no, that's reasonable. I'm just the type of person.
That one's number 2.
Yeah, I'm the type of person that enjoys Phantom Menace just a little bit more than I don't like sand.
I like episode 2 just a little bit more than episode 1 because just Anakin. It just makes me laugh, dude. That could have ranked higher on my list.
Father.
I don't like sand. What is the line? You're exactly how I remember you.
Oh God.
In my dreams. I swear to God, I'm gonna use that pickup line one day, and it's gonna work.
Disgusting. It's not. It's never gonna work.
Here's the reason. Here's the reason it's gonna work. Because I'm already gonna establish a bunch of good pickup lines before.
Oh no!
And then
you're gonna drop that
one. Joke one, and it's gonna make her laugh, and it's gonna be great.
All right, so let's go to our second. Yours is Attack of the Clones, right?
Mine is Attack of the Clones.
So my number 2 is Phantom Menace. I enjoy it just a little bit more. A lot of that probably has to do with Liam Neeson being the embodiment of what a Jedi is. And also Darth Maul is really cool. And he comes back.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to our number 7, right? No, 10, 9, our number 8 spot.
Yeah.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Revenge of the Sith.
Solo.
Oh, Solo is that low for you?
Well,
okay.
It's not necessarily low, because like those other two, they're pretty low. And then it kind of like
there's a big gap there in quality,
There's a really
right?
big gap of quality there. Because I really enjoyed Solo, but not as much as I enjoyed the other ones.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So mine's Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay.
My 3 prequels are at the bottom, and I feel bad for that. But how high is Revenge of the Sith for you?
It's number 1.
Number 1? Ew. Okay, that's fine.
It was just so fun for me.
No, that's okay.
The lightsaber battles and stuff.
I really enjoy watching episode 3, but it's never
Now that I
really my
think about
favorite.
it, now that I think about it, that one's number 3.
Number 3.
Episode 3 is number 3.
Okay. So let's go into our number 7 spot.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and let's keep doing the on 3 thing. So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. A
Rogue
New
One.
Hope. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rogue One is there for you. Rogue One's still a bit farther up for me.
Yeah.
A New Hope is something that it's the original Star Wars, and I have to respect it for that. But it's also not as interesting as other Star Wars.
Yeah.
So Rogue One.
Yep. I like Rogue One. It's very fun. But like the whole, I watch Star Wars for the Force.
Right.
That's why I watch it. So seeing there were some cool things that were happening with the Force, with the
Like
Lion
Donnie
Guy,
Yen.
with Ip Man.
Ip Man himself.
So that was badass. But outside of that, it was okay. I enjoyed the futility, but
All right. Our next slot is our number 6 slot. 1, 2, 3. Solo.
episode 4.
Episode 4. Okay, so you're right. Your hope is right after my hope.
Yep.
Which also the Star Wars franchise is forbidden from using the word hope anymore. I think it's a stupid word.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Solo's there for me, and I actually did. I enjoyed Solo more than I enjoy original recipe Star Wars. I think Solo has a lot more fun to it.
Yeah.
And it also, but at the same time, Solo also makes A New Hope a little more enjoyable because you see, oh, this is how Han Solo ended up this way.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of an interesting take. What did you say yours was?
Mine was
A New
mine
Hope?
was A New Hope, and it's mostly for the reason of like what it did for my understanding of movies. Mm-hmm. Because like seeing things like that was new for me. I had never seen something like a movie like that until I saw episode 4. So it was really interesting to have that like expansion of what movies could be when I saw that, because there's a whole like this is turning into something else. I don't necessarily understand everything that's happening with the series yet. It's not just a standalone movie. So
Right. The next slot is the number 5 spot. So 1, 2, 3. The Force Awakens.
episode 8.
Episode 8 is there for you. Okay. So Force Awakens for me was enjoyable.
Yeah.
I liked it more than the prequels. Didn't like it as much as a majority of the original trilogy.
Understandable.
Yeah. You've got Last Jedi there.
Yep.
Talk to me about that.
My experience with The Last Jedi was super cool. You know, I had a lot of fun watching it, but it just didn't rank as high as the other ones, and that's the only reason it's there. You know, because some of the other things that I had there were just too fun for me. You know. So that's the only reason they made it at that specific point, you know, because some of the other ones outdid how much fun I had.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna line up on any of these here.
I don't think so either.
But let's go ahead and go to the number 4 spot. Are you ready for that?
Yep.
Or do I need to give you a second?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Rogue One.
Episode 6.
Episode 6. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna line up on anything, or maybe we will. I don't know. We could on number 1.
Nope.
So
Not
for
happening.
me, So Rogue One is something special to me.
Yeah.
I thought Rogue One was a really cool exploration of what Star Wars is and
Yeah.
how the original trilogy came about. Kind of the same thing as Solo.
Yeah.
Rogue One made A New Hope a little more enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think of Episode 6, and I love the Ewoks.
Ewoks are cool,
a lot,
man.
You know, and that's the thing. Like when I think of Episode 6, that's what I think of. I
Right.
think of the Ewoks. You know, so it was a good world building thing for me of like showing me different like races and things that like live on the world. And for like a biology person that thinks of like different species of different things and categorizing things, it was really enlightening for me to see that in the movie and like. Oh, so they're categorizing these different. This is a different race of aliens. Fascinating. Okay, well, this tells me a lot about the universe at hand, just besides this and like Jabba the Hutt.
Right.
You know?
So then, if you're cool with the expanding biology of the Star Wars universe, does that mean you'd be cool with George Lucas's microbiotic sequel trilogy?
Okay, there's.
That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I'm glad.
No one's okay with that.
Yeah, no one is.
Okay, so number 3.
I already said this one. Mine is Episode 3.
Okay, mine is The Last Jedi. I thought The Last Jedi was cool in the way that it grew the franchise instead of being. I don't even really know how to put it into words, but it changed the characters we love in realistic ways.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything was more realistic than Luke Skywalker going into exile like Yoda did after he failed. And I think people are like, well, that's not very Luke. And I go, that's kind of exactly Luke. He loses and he disappears for a little while, then he comes back and does something. That's what happened in Empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and it was just enjoyable. A lot of sequences were really cool. And I love the new characters.
Yeah, they're fun.
I think Rey is really cool. Finn and Poe are great characters. I think Rose has potential as a character. Wasn't super great in Last Jedi, but I think she has a lot of potential as a character. So let's go to the number 2 spot. I know these ones won't line up.
Yep, absolutely.
Because this one was earlier on your list. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Return of the Jedi.
Episode 5.
All right, Empire. So, wow, I just realized what your number 1 is. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So Return of the Jedi. I know I don't have it in my number 1 spot, but Return of the Jedi is actually my favorite.
Yeah.
It's my favorite of the 3 original, but it's not the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Return of the Jedi is fun. You get Luke as a Jedi Knight. You get what is also my favorite lightsaber duel in Star Wars history. That Luke Vader duel at the end, being so emotionally charged, is really cool. You get the first appearance of Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor, and he's terrifying. So Return of the Jedi.
Episode 5 for me was the one that sealed what a franchise could do for movies for me.
Oh yeah.
So because there were like it threw me in weird directions as I was watching it for the first time when I was a kid, thinking about like Luke's journey was something that was new to me. Of like, you can have movies that go this long and the character is still growing at this point.
Right.
You know, usually it's like you're done in an hour and the character's already completed their whole thing, but then it's like a new and the character's in depth and it's there's a learning to it, and that
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool because there's still a complete arc.
Yeah.
In its own movie, but there's
inside of
also
a larger
it's also part of a
thing,
larger
and
arc. Yeah.
That's what like stunned me about episode 5, why it's my number 2 in the franchise, because it blew me away. You know,
Right.
when I was young, I was used to like small movies, you know, nothing like that. And then my parents showed me this, and I was like, holy crap, this is cool.
So, no need for suspense, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, Noe, why don't you tell me why Force Awakens is in your number 1 spot?
Okay, so there's a couple of reasons. I love Daisy Ridley.
Oh, she's incredible.
Just like, she's a great actor. Also, I'm incredibly attracted to her. Those are not the main reasons. The main reasons actually have to do with I had lost a lot of drive and hope for the franchise, and then I heard this was coming out, and I was a little angry that they were doing something else with Star Wars. And then I saw this movie, and I was so stunned by this reawakening of the Force, almost.
Right.
It had the same kind of effect on me, seeing Rey grab the lightsaber and having a flashback and hearing these voices of the Force, and the Force being alive again awakened something inside of me that reminded me of when I was a kid. You know, and then
Right, yeah.
it sets the stage for a really cool progression of Star Wars and an expansion of everything that had happened. It came out at a time where like Disney was cutting all of the old lore and stuff that people were in love with
Yeah.
and spent so long, and I was like, I don't really know how to feel about this. It's kind of weird, and there was tension. And then I saw it, and I was like, this is a Force movie.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a movie about something bigger than just the characters. And it just blew me away.
All right. Well,
And
I
love
can't argue
BB-8.
with that reasoning.
I love BB-8
Oh,
too.
who doesn't?
I saw like there was a thing of like subtitles, BB-8 subtitles.
Oh no.
It's the funniest thing ever.
That's great.
Like when they're running in the desert, BB-8 is like, I am scared, please protect me.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh, BB-8, I'll protect you.
I remember when they first made BB-8, they were saying that it was going to be a girl, but they seem pretty blatantly calling him a boy at certain sections of the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's besides
Well,
the
I
point.
mean, it's a droid.
It is a droid.
Do droids have genders?
I mean, yeah.
I thought droids were like, are they binary?
I mean,
Is
I
it
don't-
like binary
I
code,
don't
so
know.
technically-
Yeah, no, I don't really know, to be honest. But, okay, so to flip over to me, obviously what's in my number 1 spot is Episode 5, Empire. And that's just because I think it's the perfect sequel. You take these characters we developed in the first one, and you expect everything to be just fantastic. You expect for the rebels to be winning in this war. You expect for Han and Leia to be homies. But you don't get that at all. You get rebels that are on the run, that are hiding. You get a Han and Leia that fight all the time, and you get an ending that leaves the hero shrouded in darkness.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're doing a 3-part trilogy, you have to have your victory, your defeat, which will lead into the bigger victory.
Yeah.
You have to have that defeat to make your victory worth it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Empire just approaches that in the perfect way. And a couple other special things about Empire. Luke loses his hand, which is crazy. And it also introduces the Imperial March. You don't hear the Imperial March in A New Hope.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the first time it shows up is the scene with all the Star Destroyers at the beginning.
Yeah.
You get Vader. And yeah, you get Vader. You get Yoda. Yoda is
my
amazing,
boy.
and the way he says things like Luke, after Yoda lifts the X-wing, you get Luke, I don't believe it, and Yoda just says that, well, that's why you fail, punk. Like, yeah. So that's why Empire ranks number 1 for me. So no, it's fair to say that we like Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Well, apparently some people like Star Wars so much that there's producers that are allegedly willing to put money behind a remake of The Last Jedi.
Oh.
Of saying, let's remake The Last Jedi, let's make it better because this movie took crap all over the franchise that we love. How do you feel about that?
Huh.
Do you think Last Jedi needs to be remade?
That's a fascinating idea, because there are a lot of things about that movie that I really like.
Uh-huh.
You know, I think of Last Jedi, and I think one of the things that they did the best with that movie is the exploration of the Force,
Right.
which I adore.
Yeah, I liked the focus on it's not so much about good and evil, but it's just the Force.
I loved that. I love seeing Snoke just die.
Yeah.
That was sick.
And here's the thing, though. This wouldn't be a re-edited, recut version of what Rian Johnson filmed. This would be a complete remake of the film.
Oh, man.
So I want to let you know that I completely disagree with this. And it all falls on one really big thing. If you remake The Last Jedi, if you bring back in the cast, or most of the cast, because they probably wouldn't want to bring back Kelly Marie Tran, unfortunately. But if you remake The Last Jedi, there is one specific character who it would be impossible for her to be in the film, and that'd be Princess Leia.
Yeah.
If these people go to remake The Last Jedi, you now wipe Carrie Fisher's farewell cinema performance from history.
Yeah.
So I have I give a big no towards that. One, because The Last Jedi's fine.
Yeah.
And two, because again, you'd be destroying the legacy of one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses of all time.
That's fascinating. That's
I do,
fascinating.
however, don't think that I don't think there's nothing wrong with The Last Jedi, because there is the problems,
Yeah.
obviously. But a problem with the movie isn't just a plain reason to remake it. Like, oh, well, in that case, why don't you remake all the prequels? There's a lot wrong with those movies. No one's crying out to remake those.
They should.
Those are objectively worse than The Last
They
Jedi.
should totally remake those.
Yeah, I'd be okay
so
with it.
Cool. I would love to see a new Boga,
Who? Oh, Boga.
the lizard dude.
Chicken horse.
Yeah, I would love to see a new CGI Boga.
Better CGI Boga.
Oh yeah. Actually,
Speaking of the prequels, did you see that? I didn't know this, but did you know Hayden Christensen was like a soccer player? Like he played in the World Cup.
what?
Yeah, he's like a soccer player.
No way.
Yeah, and everyone was making jokes about him because he did a penalty kick, and he kicked it like way over the goal box. And everyone put in the audio of Obi-Wan, "You were the chosen one." Anyways,
That must be so fun. To be
So-
like an ex-movie star now turned football player.
so I want to let you know that football. Sorry for being American.
Sorry.
Okay,
I
so
just remember, like, I've been watching a little bit of the World Cup, and everyone says football, and they don't say soccer, and I just kind of stuck, you know.
yeah, so there's a Twitter account called Remake The Last Jedi. And so it says, our team of producers is offering to cover the budget for a remake of The Last Jedi in order to save Star Wars. Share this and spread the word to let Robert Iger and Disney know you want this. This isn't a joke. We're ready to have the convo now. # remake The Last Jedi. # Star Wars. Well, our lovely, snarky director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson, quoted this tweet and said, please, 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 please actually happen. Please, 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 with a bunch of the praying emojis. So snarky as ever. And then Mark Hamill took that tweet with the picture of a jacket that on the back it's written on the jacket, "I don't care, do you?" And Mark Hamill took a picture of the Rian Johnson tweet and said, "Talk to the jacket." So not only is Rian Johnson ridiculing these people that are saying, let's remake The Last Jedi, but Mark Hamill says, no thank you. Because people were being with Mark Hamill at the beginning of how Mark Hamill said, I was shocked by Luke and I couldn't believe it at first. However, Mark Hamill also said plenty of times that he trusted Rian Johnson's judgment, and he's okay with how the film turned out. So personally, I think this is another prime example of the Star Wars fans being stupid and impossible to please. And I'm excited for J.J. Abrams 9.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about these fans being very upset, there was a movement to boycott Solo. And it worked. Solo flopped. It did terrible at the box office. Disney's taking a loss, and they're hoping that Incredibles is bringing that money back, and it really is.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But because no one went and saw Solo, Disney took it as people aren't going to see our anthology films. So Disney allegedly took a lot of films off their schedule. So the rumored Obi-Wan film off the table. So, and I have to say this, and I tweeted this. Follow us at Hungry Bros Pod. I tweeted this. I'm actually gonna pull up the tweet because I don't remember exactly what I said.
Dang it, man.
But yeah, no. So they say that there are Star Wars films still on their schedule, but it seems as a lot of them got removed. And I tweeted yesterday. I said, "Reminder that the Obi-Wan movie was canceled because of you, quote, fans boycotting Solo." So it's the meme from Revenge of the Sith of you took her away from me. You have done that yourself.
God.
So way to go, Star Wars fans. You've now destroyed the one movie you've been begging for.
That
All
makes me
because
so sad.
you wouldn't patronize the franchise that could give you the movie that you're begging for. Like here's the idea, Noe.
You're literally shooting a horse.
No,
to bring
exactly. No, exactly. It's like, Noe, if you wanted to... Okay, let's say you want McDonald's to be able to bring the McRib around all year long. The only way that's going to happen is if McDonald's makes a ton of money.
Yeah.
But say everybody says, hey, we're not going to eat any McDonald's till the McRib comes back. And the whole country collectively decides, all right, let's not eat McDonald's anymore then. What's going to happen to McDonald's? Are they going to bring the McRib back? No, they're going to go out of business.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what these so-called fans are doing to Star Wars.
Theoretically, it could work.
It could.
Could work because there are two options to that. It's either the thing completely tanks, or right off the bat they just give them that thing. Because I think from like a
Right.
business
Well, I
standpoint-
think food was a bad example.
Yeah, food
but
is probably a bad
film
example.
is such a gambling industry as it is.
Oh, yeah.
That if you want something from a studio, you have to support their other projects. That's the way it's got to work. Because, food was a really bad example, actually. I take that analogy back.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you want Warner Brothers to make a really good Ben Affleck Batman movie, then you got to see all the other crap they're putting out.
Yeah.
You still got to go see Aquaman in theaters, even if it's going to be a pile of crap.
They're
That
gonna
way
need to
you
budget it.
that way you can still hope for a good Shazam and a good Batman
Yeah.
and a good Harley Quinn movie, good Joker movies, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's as simple as Star Wars fans, if you wanted the Obi-Wan movie to happen, you needed to go see Solo, and you failed at that. You needed to give Disney the movie. You needed to give Disney the money that said, okay, these anthology films are still worth it, so let's get Ewan McGregor and make this movie. But now that's been ruined because of a boycott for a movie that didn't need to be boycotted.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was good.
It was.
So
Freaking
Star Wars is just, I don't know what to do about Star Wars fans.
Man, now we don't get to see Darth Maul.
Exactly.
I would love
So
to see Darth Maul again.
I guess to bring it to the hopeful side of Star Wars, I've got some rumors and theories concerning J.J. Abrams' Episode 9 coming in December 2019. Yeah. So, release date is tentatively December 20th, 2019, and that is 79 weeks from now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Start the clocks now, boys.
Exactly.
girls.
So J.J. Abrams is directing. This was originally going to be Colin Trevorrow, who directed Jurassic World. But he got fired because of creative differences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
same thing happened with Solo. where Lord and Miller got fired and Ron Howard took over. But Abrams stepped in while the film was still being written. So, it's fine. We're expecting the original cast to come back. So Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Lupita Nyong'o as Maz, Kelly Marie Tran, Anthony Daniels, and we're also expecting, how did they say his name? Was his name Jonas Sutarmo? He's the new actor that plays Chewbacca. He was in Solo.
Oh, yeah.
So it's either Jonas or Jonas. I don't remember. I think it's Jonas.
Jonas.
So he's back. No, it's not. It's like Norwegian or something.
So not Hebrew.
So this is likely going to be a movie that wouldn't have legacy characters in it. There's going to be there's going to have to be a way where you write the death of Carrie Fisher into it, or the death of Princess Leia into it.
Yeah.
However, I still am holding hope for Blue Luke to show up. Luke is a Force ghost. It would be cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah, well, and because originally what this sequel trilogy was going to be is that Force Awakens was very much Han's movie. Last Jedi was very much Luke's, and this Episode 9 was supposed to be Princess Leia's movie. So I'm really sad to hear that this won't be their original vision. But I think it'll be okay. So we're expecting that for the plot. We're expecting Rey's story arc to be that she turns down Kylo's offer to lead the First Order, or to conquer the galaxy together.
Yeah.
And it's likely that she's going to be continuing her own version of Jedi training. She took the texts from the library that Yoda set on fire. And also, she had just met Poe Dameron at the very end of Last Jedi. So it's likely that relationship will develop. She'll have to learn what it is to be around the Flyboy.
Yeah.
And what are we gonna do? Is J.J. Abrams gonna flesh out the story of her parentage, about her parents being nobody, or is that gonna be all that we know? Is that her parents were nobodies that sold her for drinking money?
Part of me hopes it's just
I hope it is that. I really do.
I don't want an origin backstory.
Not every character needs to have some special backstory.
You know, what if the backstory starts at that moment?
Exactly. Maybe years down the line, we have an older Daisy Ridley playing the wise old Rey, and now she's got a backstory.
Yeah.
And maybe then...
What if we are now witnessing her backstory?
Exactly.
Which is what I would prefer way more than, like, needing to know who her parents are.
Mm-hmm.
Forget the whole, like, bloodline, parentage kind of thing, you know? Parents sold her for drinking money. Wow. Okay.
Cool. It doesn't matter what her past is, because she's in the now.
She's starting fresh.
Her life started when her and Finn took the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, I mean, the story tells us that. You know, that's what it alludes to, you know. Her life starts at that moment.
Yeah, my favorite thing is that in that original Force Awakens trailer, when you hear Maz say, "Who are you?" and you hear Rey say, "I'm nobody," I don't think anybody expected that to be the truth. So Finn is now potentially a couple with Rose. They kissed at the end of the movie. I don't think that a couple will be the case, but it's possible. And he's also reunited with his best friend in the whole galaxy, Rey. And Finn is fresh off a victory against Captain Phasma.
Yeah.
And it's likely that, again, his Stormtrooper history will be relevant to the plot. Because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Kylo Ren is the new Supreme Leader. And he is likely going to be covering his tracks, making sure that nobody finds out it was actually him that killed Snoke. Yeah, because that would be actual treason.
Yeah.
And now...
We all need a healthy dose of treason.
We all need a healthy dose of treason. So now that Snoke is gone, he doesn't have that Force bridge to Rey anymore, which was created by Snoke. So it's likely that he will fully envelop himself in the dark side of the Force.
Unless he somehow finds it.
Right. So Leia is actually the one that we can't really guess too much on. But they're not going to recreate her with CGI. Lucasfilm has already said that.
Good.
And good. You don't need that.
Yeah. That makes me happy.
Yeah, so it's likely that we're going to get some sort of time jump, and that Princess Leia will have passed on, probably heroically, or maybe not. I don't know. So there's some rumors of surprise appearances. So there's a potential time jump, and John Boyega told Yahoo that he's growing out his hair for the new movie, and he says wait for the trailer to see why.
Huh.
You also get New York Daily News says that an insider revealed that Yoda will be returning in 2019 for this movie. Ghost Yoda could be coming back. Yeah, and according to Fantha Tracks, is the name of the website, Billy D. Williams may be finally making his sequel trilogy return as the one and only Lando Calrissian. And I have to say, I would be very excited to see Billy D come back to Star Wars. I would love to see the way that his character has grown over 30 years.
Yeah.
And also how he'd react hearing that his best friend died. Yeah. Friends, you're right. All three of them. God. Yeah. So
it's a sad day for Lando.
And here's the headline, the subtitle of the article. It says, "And what about that cameo in Solo?" Talking about Darth Maul. He's not going to appear in 9 because he's dead. Oh. He died in Rebels.
Oh yeah. That's right, Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So Last Jedi has tons of information going all around Noe. I want to let you know I told you at the very beginning that I didn't think I'd fill up a whole episode, but we're an hour 16 in.
Oh crap!
All movie news. So that's what I have. So let's run real quick through what you have for video games, because I know you said it wasn't a ton, right?
I don't have a ton. I have 2 games that are in the spotlight. After E3, we don't really have much to look at because E3 said everything that's important.
No, I got my Game Informer for the month, and I flipped through it, and I was like, oh, this is everything that I learned about at E3.
Yeah, absolutely. So the only things that really caught my attention for this podcast this week. One of them is for the Nintendo Switch, and I'm hearing it has a lot of good reviews, and it's turning out to be a little bit of a banger. It's an ace, if you will.
An ace.
You guess what I'm talking about? This is a Nintendo Switch game.
Nintendo
So you have a couple of
Switch.
franchises that this is limited down to.
I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that this is going to be another game from the Mario franchise, because that's their moneymaker.
Absolutely
and
correct.
Ace seemed cryptic. So I'm going to assume that you mentioned to me earlier, but are we talking about the new Mario Tennis?
We are talking about the new Mario Tennis. So, Super Mario has always had this weird, sports side of the franchise.
Like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games?
Mario Sonic Olympic Winter Games.
Mario Sonic in the Olympic Summer Games?
Back in the GameCube earlier days, and with the Nintendo
that
Wii,
game that we played a few weeks ago.
Mario Strikers.
That's the one.
Which was a banger.
That was fun.
So we have games like that, and Mario Tennis has been one of the big ones that's been going for a while. And this new one, Mario Tennis Aces, I'm not going to read too much from any websites or any articles, but I am going to tell you a little bit of things that I've heard from people that have the game.
Waluigi.
Well, yes, but I
purchased, pre-ordered, about to switch for it.
Great, but I'm hearing that this is a great game, and of course, every Mario sports game has its issues. But the thing that's really catching people off guard, and I've heard streamers call out other streamers that have this game. There's like a whole war. I don't know if you know the Creatures. The Creatures is an older group that disbanded a while ago, and all of them have gone on. You remember Uber Haxer Nova, or James, and
Yes.
Immortal HD Alex. They've been challenged by one of their old coworkers at another game to this game because it, in the words of a close friend of my brother's, it's like Super Smash Brothers, but for tennis.
Oh.
So it takes place with these really high intensity double racket tennis games where there's power moves and counter attacks, and I hear it's a great game. This is available for purchase for digital download.
Oh, it's already out.
Or not for $60 in the Nintendo store. So it's apparently a pretty decent game. I haven't played it yet, but I definitely think it's worth playing. And it has, of course, as all of modern next-gen games do, it has online capacity to play.
Does it have Battle Royale?
It's the best. Maybe. I couldn't tell
If
you.
I can't go up and smack a Wario with 2 tennis rackets, I don't want to buy it.
That makes sense. I understand that.
Also, I don't have a Switch, so I'm not gonna buy it.
All right.
but-
Well, the next game is also available for the Switch. Not yet, but
You're gonna make me sad.
It will be available in August. But this is a game that is available on all systems. So for all
okay.
of our next gen systems. And it seems like our fans for this game franchise, have been heard, and everyone's favorite cooking game is back for a sequel.
Overcooked
2. In the first Overcooked, we all gathered to fight the ever peckish, or in my words, Meatball Cthulhu.
Meatball Cthulhu.
It's a giant meatball with spaghetti arms and stuff, and you need to feed him to stop from the apocalypse. And Overcooked 2 is back with a crazier and zanier plotline with crazy new kitchens.
How about a zestier plotline?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes.
Yes.
Zesty.
Zesty.
Fiery.
Spicy.
I
Dank.
love it. You don't really want dank.
Maybe you do. Tell me you don't want dank mac and cheese.
Well, I mean, it depends on like the definition of dank.
Tell me you don't want...
Dank could also mean like sewer dank.
Oh, you're right. How about then like dank Gouda cheese?
That's okay. That's a little better.
like you want the stinkiest of cheeses.
That's a little better. But we're back to the Onion Kingdom.
Okay.
And our devs for this game have answered the call of the first Overcooked. And my favorite news about this game, there are 5 reasons why people are saying you should get it. First off is you can now play online with people so this now has online capacity, meaning that
Was it really not
no,
online
it was
capable?
completely couch co-op.
Okay.
So that is still there. The couch co-op is still there.
It better be.
And now, oh yeah, absolutely. Now, you can have this game, I can have this game, we could be at our houses, and we could still cook together.
Dude, that sounds great. I don't have to leave my house anymore.
Right? Isn't it wonderful? Number 1. Number 2 reason.
Now, wait. Now all we gotta do is find a way to record the podcast from
Separate places.
Then I never have to look at your face. God, that sounded like real rage, and I just want to disclaim and say that it wasn't.
I am a very average person. We're gonna keep it there.
Okay.
Number 2, kitchens. We have a lot of crazier kitchens. From the pictures that I can see, teleportation, a kitchen that's moving in squares around a rotating conveyor belt of different things that you can be using. Wild stuff. The recipe's different. We're getting sushi, pancakes, pizzas, burgers, dim sum, new instruments to use. So instead of just like the choppers and the pots,
Yeah.
you're getting blenders and steamers and mixers. It's a full kitchen,
That sounds
which is super fun.
like it's gonna be fun, but it sounds
Yeah.
like it's not. It sounds like you need 4 players now.
Yeah. Which I think is going to be fascinating. The next one,
It's gonna be hectic.
number 4th reason, we have new chefs, which is my favorite thing. My favorite
yes.
one is there's like a little octopus man, and it's like literally an octopus with a body. So we get to play as Cthulhu, which is fun.
Yeah.
There's a mouse, so we can play as Ratatouille.
Is the wheelchair guy still back?
The wheelchair guy is still back.
Great.
Skid.
Skid.
Yeah, the raccoon. I don't know if that's his official name, but it is for me. And the 5th reason and most important reason of Overcooked 2, and the reason it came back, I believe, is because Kevin, everyone's favorite anime pooch, is back, and he has missions himself,
Oh, that's great.
which means hidden Kevin kitchens. I don't know what that means, but I love it, and I'm excited. So that'll be available. If I think I'm right, it will be available August 7th
August
on
7th.
Xbox One, PC, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch.
That's cool
So,
that it's coming to Switch.
yeah, so get your Get your cooking chops ready. Get ready to mince. Get ready to munch. And hope you guys are ready for August, because that's going to be a fun game to play with your friends and with your family.
Also, my guess is for the hidden kitchens is it'll be like the hidden grottos in Black 2, White 2 Pokemon, and you're gonna notice them and you're like, oh, this is a secret kitchen. Let's go hang out with Kevin.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So are those the only games you have down?
That are coming out right now.
All
the
right.
only things that have been announced recently.
Did they really not announce Overcooked 2 at E3? Wild.
I
guess that those devs, that's like their only thing, isn't it? Yeah. Well, wow, we filled up time well.
Yeah, I think so.
Good job, Greg.
Yeah, good job, Greg.
All right. So I want to thank everyone for listening. I hope that our sound quality has improved.
Absolutely.
And if it hasn't, then I'm going to do everything that I can to get it to that point. So please work with us over the next couple of weeks if it's not quite there yet. But it seems like it's going to be.
Yeah. We're dialing it in.
Yeah, we're dialing in. We're getting there. We've stepped up. We have 2 microphones, so it's a whole new ball game. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Hungry Bros Pod. Make sure to subscribe to us on Podbean as well as on YouTube. Those are both linked in the description to the relative website, depending on what you're on. If you're on Podbean, I'm going to link you to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I'm going to link you to Podbean. Of course, this podcast goes up every Tuesday, so enjoy the rest of your week, and also come back next Tuesday again. Burger Man, we've done really well at keeping this consistent so far.
Yeah, I'm excited about this.
I've been having a lot of fun doing this. I want to give it.
Been so up to date with things.
No, you're right. Yeah,
it's awesome. I didn't know you could be this informed about the world.
You're right. Yeah, I also want to give a special shout out to one of our new listeners. This is someone that I do local theater in my free time, and I mentioned to one of my castmates that it had always been my dream to be on the radio. And I said, but I'm not going to be on the radio, so I started a podcast. So I want to give a shout out to my castmate, Dan. Dan started listening to us. He said he's enjoying this podcast.
Sick.
So thanks for joining us here, Dan.
Thanks for listening,
we
man.
really appreciate it. Yeah. So yeah, Twitter, YouTube, Podbean. You can also follow me on Instagram to see my hobby endeavors, and that's at grandiloquent_mediocrity, which is extremely oxymoronic.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and follow me there.
I want to keep an eye on that one this week. Me and Greg are coming to you live from Fresno Pacific Summer Music Camp, so we're going to be having a lot of fun making tunes and bops with all of these children, and we're going to have lots of zany activities, so
Yeah, maybe
an eye out.
something will go up on the Instagram.
Keep an eye out.
So again, yeah, just keep us up to date. We'll keep you updated regularly. Of course, if you do follow us on Twitter, I did mention that Incredibles 2 review isn't going to happen for a little while. Our schedules right now just don't allow us to go sit down and see a movie.
It's going to happen, though.
But when we do come back to do the movie review, we'll bring it to you gladly, and we'll bring it to you late, the Hungry Brothers way.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys next week.
We're sorry. You guys have a wonderful week.